Hey guys, it's Kristen from College Lead. I help students with planning high school courses and extracurriculars and guide them through the college application process. I recently posted a video where I shared my Harvard admission file, and there I revealed that I received the highest score possible on the extracurricular section. Ever since then, I've received a ton of questions on extracurriculars, like how to plan for them and also what I did in high school. Some people even listed out their extracurriculars and asked me to tell them what score they would get from Harvard. Let me clarify this. I am not an admissions officer. I was a student, and I am not qualified to give you a score, nor do I want to create any unnecessary anxiety by giving you a possibly inaccurate score that will disappoint or worry you. But I will provide a suggested method with simple and actionable steps on planning extracurriculars, or ECs as I'll call them here for the sake of simplicity. Just a gentle reminder that every student is different. Like there are many ways to get into college, and there are many different ways to plan and choose your extracurriculars, so please keep that in mind throughout the video. I'm only providing one method. Spend your time doing your own research and develop a plan that's best for you. I'm also happy to work on that with you and hop on a call to discuss. Just send me a message via my website that's linked below. So with that, let's jump right in. This video is primarily for high schoolers aiming for top-tier schools. Some of my recommendations may seem intense, and it's not for everyone. So freshmen and sophomores, watch the whole video. This video will be relevant to you in particular. Juniors, watch the Common App portion, and then skip to the Capstone part. See timestamps in the description below. And any high school seniors watching this, get out of here. Go enjoy life and the free time you have before college starts. The best place to start planning ECs is to first understand the goal that you are working towards. The purpose of ECs is to demonstrate your interest and skills to college admission officers. With that, let's hop over to the Common App. I've already created a dummy account. If you are in high school and a freshman or sophomore, I recommend getting an account and exploring these tabs just to get a feel for what information you'll have to submit a year or two from now. If you are a college junior, you should definitely create an account if you haven't already. The two relevant sections for this video are the Honors and Activities section. Let's start with Honors. So, navigate to the Common App tab, and then go to the Education section. Now scroll down and click on Honors. Now notice that you can list up to 5 honors. Reaching that number, 5, will be your goal if you are aiming for a top-tier school. I'll dive into more details about that later. Notice that also that you will have to include information like the title of the honor, the grade level for when you won that honor, and also the level of recognition for that honor, whether it is school-wide, state or regional level, national level, or international level. Now scroll back up and go to the Activities section. Note that you can list up to 10 activities. These can range from arts or music, clubs, family responsibilities, and more. Information you will have to provide include activity type, the position or leadership description and organization name, description of the activity, participation grade levels, timing of the participation, whether it was during the school year, school break, or all year, hours spent per week, weeks spent per year, and whether you'll continue participation in college. Going back to our notes section, you'll see that I have conveniently listed these points out for you. A few logistical things to note. Juniors, you will have to dig through the archives and find this information because you'll need it soon as you apply for colleges. Sophomores and freshmen, be sure to keep a running record. I provided an Excel template for how you can keep track of your extracurricular activities. Sign up for the College Lead newsletter to get access. This is completely free. Or you can record your ECs in a notebook, Word doc, or whatever else works for you. Keeping track now will save you a ton of time later down the line. Now juniors, you can skip to the capstone portion. Freshmen and sophomores, keep watching. Let's start with honors. Note that you are required to include the level of recognition. If you're aiming for a school like Harvard, Yale, Stanford, etc., it's a great idea to work to get a couple of national level and at least one international honors under your belt. How do you get to the national and international level? You can do that by focusing your time on developing 1 to 2 skills and strengths. Let's say that you are a track and field runner and also love public speaking. A great example of your honors could be a few national level prizes from your races and one international event you've won second place for. At school, you participate in mock trial and your team qualifies for nationals. That's an honor right there. In other words, the higher the number of national and international awards you have, the stronger the candidate you are. And unless you are a superhuman genius, you won't be able to reach the national and international level unless you focus on becoming an expert in 1 to 2 skills outside of school. You want to avoid spreading your time too thin across many different competitions and events across different skill sets, or else you'll become a jack of all trades or a master of none. Things get a little bit more complex and interesting with activities. Just right off the bat, based on the information you have to input when you apply for college, there are 2 ways that you can distinguish yourself. First is to demonstrate consistency. And by consistency, I mean the number of years in high school that you spend devoted to a particular activity. So let's say you volunteer at a local animal shelter. If you have volunteered throughout all 4 years and at the end of those 4 years are promoted to a manager level position, then that is a great activity to put on the list. It shows that you are consistent and you are dedicated to the activity at hand, and you will work through to gradually move up within the ranks. Another way that you can differentiate yourself is by hours spent and weeks spent per year. So this will obviously depend on the specific activity, but this is just another sort of metric to keep in mind that you'll have to record. The third point to make here is you have the opportunity to diversify the types of activities that you are involved in. The reason why this is important is because more and more colleges are looking at applicants holistically. This means that they look at students as a whole or as a person and not just through a single dimension, whether it's test scores, one specific type of activity, or something else. So in order to show that you are a well-rounded student and person, usually it's better to try to include different types of activities. The 3 main types of activities that I would recommend organizing by is first, volunteer work, second, leadership, and third, skills-based. The first 2 are quite self-explanatory, but for skills-based, an example might be athletics if you are on the track and field team or play basketball, soccer, etc., or maybe arts and music if you play the piano, violin, or write poetry. Now let's talk about how you can bridge the gap between activities and honors. Let's say you love creative writing, and let's also say you've written several collections of short novels and also started a journalism club at your school. Don't forget to send your work for writing contests, both school-wide, statewide, nationwide, and internationally. You'll have to obviously try for more than you'll put in the honors section, unless you're a genius and place in everything you do. Don't feel pressure to place first in everything. Aim to place in the top 3 or qualify. Like what I did with the How to Get Started on College Applications video, let's put all our takeaways from the Common App into practice with a concrete example and specific and actionable steps that you can follow in order to enhance your extracurricular and honors profile. So, step 1. List all your current activities and awards if you won them in high school. I recommend the spreadsheet from College Lead, and again, you can get that if you sign up for my newsletter, and you will receive a code that you can then input on the College Lead website in order to access that download. Or you could use whatever else works for you, whether it's a notebook, a Word doc, or something else. For these steps, I'm going to provide an example extracurricular profile of a student, because I think this will really help ground the takeaways that we've had from the Common App. Our example student is very active. Let's say they are either a freshman or a sophomore. Let's say they do martial arts at a local center. They also play basketball on the school team, clarinet in the school orchestra. They write spoken word poetry and perform at local cafes. They're also the vice president at an honors club, volunteer at a local animal shelter, and also volunteer to teach middle school students how to code at a community center. This student is clearly doing a lot, maybe even too much. There are definitely enough activities to fit all the 10 that you can put on the common application, but now the question is, how well is the student actually doing in each of these activities? And is there an opportunity in these skills that the student is developing to achieve or earn a national or international level award? The answer is likely no, because their time is being spread thin across these many activities. They're probably already feeling very stressed and stretched thin. They're losing sleep. The situation is only going to worsen as this student takes on a heavier course load and more AP classes or IB classes. So now is the time to cut out some activities. To do that, let's go to step 2. Group the activities into different themes. So for our example student, we would have a theme of athletics. So the student does martial arts and basketball. The next theme would be music, so clarinet and spoken word fit under this. Next is volunteering, where local animal shelter and teaching middle school students how to code fits under. And then lastly, we have leadership, and that would be the vice president of the honors club. Now, if we analyze the students' different activities, we notice that the student has 2 athletics and 2 in the arts and musics category. It's very likely then that the student is not able to excel in athletics and in music because there are 4 activities and there's only so much time you have in the day. So here may be an opportunity to cut something out. Another thing to notice is we are doing well on the volunteer section. There are 2 volunteer activities going on, and I'm assuming that these volunteering activities may only be once a week, but very consistent. So here would be an opportunity to show consistency by volunteering at a local animal shelter and also at this community center for middle school students by being involved in these activities from freshman year to senior year of high school. For the leadership section, it seems a little bit lacking since there is only 1 role here. But that's all right, because keep in mind that our student is a freshman or a sophomore. They just got started with high school, so no need to worry about not having enough leadership opportunities. We can definitely add some more as the student continues to grow. Clearly, we need to cut out some activities, and that brings us to step 3, cutting out some activities and pushing others further, or further developing them. So with athletics, let's say that this student in particular doesn't really like basketball as much, and more so joined because his or her friends were part of the team. And the student also is more interested and talented in martial arts, and there's more potential here to earn national and international level awards. So let's cut out basketball. Now for arts and music, let's say that the student hates practicing clarinet and it's hard to find a consistent time to practice every single day. And that problem is only going to get worse as the student takes on a heavier course load. So let's cut that out. Spoken word, on the other hand, is sort of an outlet for the student. It's a way for the student to express himself or herself or themselves through this art form. So let's keep it. And there may be an opportunity here to mix in elements of leadership. We'll cover this more in just a sec. For volunteering, as we mentioned, let's keep it because these likely happen only once a week and don't require any preparation or outside time. For leadership, again, let's keep it. Let's hope that the student can get the president level in the next year. Now, step 4 is technically not a step, but a very, very important reminder, which is why I wanted to highlight it by making it step 4. So try not to add too much more to your plate now that you have cut out some activities. It's better to excel at 5 activities than be average in 10, because remember, you want to be able to get that honors national and international level. Now to step 5, create a plan for the rest of your high school years. Keep in mind that you want to increase leadership activities and compete in national and international events. This step will vary greatly among different students because every student has their own set of extracurricular activities. Feel free to plan this out with a parent, with a college counselor, or even with myself. You can reach me by filling out the contact form on the College Lead website, which will be linked in the description below. But one recommendation I have in order to increase leadership activities or wherever else in your activities you feel lacking is with a capstone project. So here, juniors, I hope you've tuned in because this part is an opportunity for you as well. The Capstone Project is a really great way to enhance your extracurricular profile. You will take one of your main skills or passions and add some twist to involve a leadership or volunteer aspect or both. Let's use the same example student. So earlier in the arts and music section, we mentioned that our student is involved in spoken word poetry and that we could mix in some elements of leadership here. So an example of what the student can do is during a summer or a school break, the student can organize a spoken word festival or conference at the local community center or at their school. This festival or conference can involve a few different events, from guest performances to student performances, competitions, and even a beginner's workshop. It can be a single day or 2-day event over the weekend, and the student would be in charge of organizing, planning, and marketing this event. And that's an example of a capstone project. It's a really great way to fill in any gaps you have in your extracurricular profile, and also to demonstrate that you are a type of student who will take the initiative and give back to the community which you are part of. And that concludes the College Lead Guide on how to plan and build and develop your extracurriculars and honors profile to maximize your chances of getting into a good school. I hope this video was very helpful for you, and if so, please give this video a like and subscribe if you are interested in seeing more content like this. Again, remember to check out mycollegelead.com for more resources and information. Thanks for watching!